Well, hello there. It's your boy, Phil Bandilly, back with another Premier League video coming to you. Looking over all of the results that I've just went past in the midweek games through match week 22 of the Premier League. So we've had a mad old week of football. It's been quite mental. It really has. Lots of great games. So as per usual, I'll just be going from Tuesday's games through to the game yesterday between Tottenham and Spurs. Tottenham and Spurs, Tottenham and Chelsea. So to begin with, we'll be discussing the Newcastle game against Crystal Palace. Now, going into this game, it was a bit of a must-win for both sides, really, as most games are in the Premier League. Really was a must-win. Sorry, I'm just trying to. I'm trying something new with me notes today. I'm gonna try and have them as close to the screen as possible, so I don't. There we go. So, going into this game, it was a big game for both sides. Crystal Palace to try and extend their gap over the bottom three teams. Not like they're really going to be in much of a relegation battle this season, but it's always good to make sure as soon as you can. And with Newcastle, they wanted to win to make sure that they avoid getting sucked into that, because they're kicking about just above the relegation zone, and unfortunately for Newcastle, they just didn't have what it took to get the job done against Crystal Palace, which means they are 16th now after that game, and they've got one win in 11, which is very worrying. If you're a Newcastle United fan, it's very, very, very worrying. What I will say is that Newcastle's goal was really well worked. It was really well worked. Fantastic play. Ball gets played over the top. Almiron collects the ball. He then plays it first time into Wilson, who chests the ball really well, controlling it really well, holding people off, and then plays a lovely cushioned header in for John Joe Shelby, who's running onto the ball and hits it on the volley, smashes it into the ground, and then it then skids off the ground and goes into the bottom corner. Now, quality strike, but it's one of them where it's quite lucky that it went in, because usually you'll see them fly wide. So it's I'm not trying to discredit the goal at all. It was a fantastic strike. So yeah, it was a really good goal. And then Newcastle sort of shoot themselves in the foot defensively. Defending from corners, marking, it's a little bit of a myth, if you're being honest, when we're talking about Newcastle. Not great from their point of view. I can't. So yeah, for the corner, that was Crystal Palace's second goal. Easy delivers the ball in, and Cahill just guides the ball home, running across the 6-yard box, running towards the right hand side of the box. Just runs across. Literally no Newcastle man picking him up anywhere, and he has the simplest of headers. An experienced player like Gary Cahill, you've got to be picking that sort of player up, because he's played at the top. He's played at the top level for Chelsea. He was fantastic there alongside John Terry for a while, and also alongside Aspilicueta and a couple of others. But really poor from a Newcastle point of view. The first goal was really good link-up play between Van Aanholt and Eze. So Van Aanholt collects the ball on the left-hand side of the pitch, like about halfway in between the halfway line and the box. And then he takes a couple of touches, plays it in Eze, sets off. Eze plays a perfect weighted pass, which plays just inside of the box. Van Aanholt takes the touch, plays it back, tries to cut it across the goal, and then I think it's Jamal Lewis who gets a touch to it, knocking it out, and Riedewald just runs onto it and smashes it, which is what you should be doing when you're in that sort of position, just on the edge of the box. He thumps it home, and it's takes a nick on the way through, but when you get it on target with that sort of power, you deserve for it to go in my opinion. So fair play to Riedewald for that quality strike, really quality strike. But yeah, I do apologise. I thought I'd made my note for Crystal Palace. I'm just quickly getting up their form. Sorry, just be 1 second. So, yeah, so like I said, it's like Crystal Palace are in a like good position in terms of their form right now. They've won the last 2 games in a row. Won 3 out their last 6. And the defeats, well, a draw coming against Arsenal, loss coming against City, but City have been nothing short of excellent recently, so that's not to be expected from them. But overall, good win for Crystal Palace. Newcastle need to turn this round now. Like, I don't see how Steve Bruce is still just seems to be comfortable in the job. I just don't. It's very strange to me. Now, a game that I was looking forward to mentioning, even though I've already done a video on it already, is Man United Southampton. What a game. What a game. So, like I did the other day, I'll talk about Southampton before I talk about Man United. Just so that way I can like get the bad bit out of the way, then enjoy my team. So Southampton, the game changed for them after 76 seconds. The score, unfortunately, the scoreline shouldn't be reflective on the first red card, though. Like, obviously it's a game changer, but there's been many games before where I've seen teams go a man down and they've been able to cope a lot better than what Southampton did, certainly. Yeah, they were a shambles. They were a shambles after that red card. They never recovered from it, although in their defense, I'll say one thing. I mean, obviously it was, I believe, 3 or 4-0 at this point anyways, but when Che Adams' goal got ruled out for them, it should have stood. But when it got ruled out, that's when the heads proper dropped. That's when they were done in the game. When that goal didn't go for them, that all of their energy went. And it's unfortunate because they deserved to win, to get that goal. They deserved that goal. It should have been kept onside. Fred had clearly kept him on from the camera angles of which we're using. I mean, in my personal opinion, with this whole VAR ruling offside, should there not be a separate camera? Besides from the one that's used for the one that's used right now for checking offsides, because it clearly just causes confusion for everyone. Because you'll have some games where you look at it and like they look onside and they're calling it off or on, and like there's no consistency with it. There should be a camera for me if they're going to continue with VAR being so involved in offsides and stuff. Then they need to have like another camera set up for me, which focuses purely on offside, a one which stays in line with the last man at all times. Like it's someone's job to just stay in line with the last man of either defense at all times. So that way, that's the clearest way, and like it's near enough pitch side, maybe just behind the barriers, maybe just going along. Yeah, I think something like that's needed just for more clarity in the game. And then the finish off talking about Southampton, the second red card. David Luiz got sent off for similar, although David Luiz's was a lot worse in my opinion. But yeah, it was unfortunate for him to be sent off. And since then, his red card has been reprimanded, so it means he will be playing the next game for them, which is good, because if he hadn't have been playing, then like obviously Bednareki's a big part of that Southampton team, so it would have been a big loss for them. It really would have been. So now we are going to move on to the Man United side of things, and it was fantastic for me. Sorry there. Girlfriend just tried bringing me. Just needed to check that. So I've had, even though I've watched the game, I've had to keep a list of all of the different goal scorers. So pretty much the scoreline's as emphatic as it can get. As much as I've said that Southampton were unlucky with a couple of things, Man United made Southampton pay for being so lackadaisical on the ball, for timing things wrong. Man United really punished them. They punished them for being down to 10 men, and then punished them even more when they went down to 9 men. All game, United looked like scoring, and people will say obviously the red card had a big impact. Red cards don't have that big of an impact on the team. Obviously, it's affected the scoreline in some way, but for me, Man United have done exceptionally well to showcase the weaknesses in that side. And one thing I loved throughout the game was that at half-time, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was making offensive substitutions. He was making offensive ones, like 60th minute or 65th minute, I think it was. He brings on Donny van de Beek and Dan James. And he takes off. Wait, is that right? Was that right? Dreadfully sorry. Yeah. Can't get the times up for this. Oh, there we go. So it was at half time. So Martial comes on for Cavani. I think that was something to do with fitness. And then Luke Shaw off for Donny van de Beek. And we pretty much resorted to playing with 3 at the back after that. It was a bit mad. And then Rashford came off in the 60th for Dan James. And it was fantastic to see. It was fantastic to see Ollie implementing that attacking sort of mentality towards Manchester United in a situation where goals were there to be gotten. It was really good. I think he realised that if we improve the goal difference a lot, then it could be a big help. Could be a big help going forward with the season. But paper won't stay still. I'll need to try something else next time. But yeah, so I'll go through all the goals. Wan-Bissaka's goal, a fantastic cross from Luke Shaw from the edge of the box, plays it perfectly onto the edge of the 6-yard box at the far right hand side and Wan-Bissaka runs in on it and does really well to just side foot it, and it rolls across the floor, hits the post and goes in. Lovely goal. 1-0. 2-0. Rashford's goal. It was a great run from Luke Shaw. From the left back spot, just picks the ball up, runs with it, carries it, takes it past the player and allows the ball to run on to Greenwood, who then turns, plays the pass into Rashford, who tucks it away, side-footed finish. Nothing the keeper can do about it. He gets a glove to it, but you can't keep it out. Really well worked goal. 2-0. 3-0. Bednarek's own goal. There was nothing he could have done about it. Marcus Rashford was out on the right-hand side. I think Wan-Bissaka tried playing a cross or something and it deflected out to Rashford. And then Rashford zips it in. And if Bednarek doesn't get anything on it, it's going straight to Fred for an easy tap-in. So Bednarek did what he had to do, stuck a leg out, and he just didn't angle himself correctly. And unfortunately for him, conceded the own goal. 3-0. That was within 30 minutes. And then Cavani's goal, again, brilliant from Luke Shaw, who, if you're going to base man of the match performances based off of one half, then Luke Shaw runs away with it. He was fantastic. He really was. He similar area to where he was when he played the cross in for Wan-Bissaka, but the defenders are a lot more central. So he plays a lofted cross, which goes just over Bednarek, and Cavani's just standing still to nut it straight into the back of the net. 4-0, fantastic first half from Man United. In the second half, I'll give Southampton credit. They made it harder for United for a period. When it came out after half time, they were a lot tighter. They were more technically astute for a period. And then Martial scored, and things went back to how they were in the first half. Bruno Fernandes does a fantastic flick pass over the top of the defenders. He does it so many times, and it's just so delightful to watch every time. Does a flick pass. Martial chests it, does another touch to take it round the defender who's just trying to challenge him, and then just thumps it into the roof of the net for a much needed goal from Martial. It was fantastic. Really good play. McTominay, the ball, I can't remember who it was who had the hold of the ball, but I think it might have been Dan James on the right. But anyway, someone tried playing running down the byline to get the cross in, and one of the Southampton players tackled the ball away. And it rolls out to McTominay, who's on the edge of the box, like about 20. It's about 20 yards. He just opens up his body, and it was very strange technique, but it was so nice. I can't really describe it. He leaned back a lot, but he managed to keep it enough over, so he was a bit like that when he shaped up for it, and he connected over the top of the ball, and it just allowed the ball to fizz on the surface and go into the back of the net. It was really lovely finish. And McTominay has shown a few times in the last couple of seasons he's got goals like that in his locker. He's proven more and more, I think, as time goes on, that he deserves to be in that Man United team. And for me, I would be even in games where Fred's not going to be playing alongside him, I would start getting a bit more trust with him playing alongside the likes of a Paul Pogba. And then Bruno Fernandes scores the penalty. There's obviously controversy about the penalty. For me, I've seen the replays. I personally believe that Martial is clipped, but I don't think the clip is enough contact to bring him down for the penalty. I will say that. I'll be fully honest. I did think it was a very soft penalty, and I thought Bednarek was very unfortunate to be sent off for that at the time. Fortunately, now it's been overruled, but it brings VAR more into disrepute. It's like, what's going on here? Why are VAR not seeing this when they're replaying it several times, and then their decision's been overruled like a couple of days after the game? It's so mind-boggling as to how VAR's been implemented, but yeah, enough of that. So for number 8, Martial receives the ball after a great cross from Wan-Bissaka. I think it may flick Greenwood, or it's the defender marking him. I think it's Greenwood that gets the flick. Martial does really well, chest again, it stops the ball dead, and he thumps it home. Another great goal for Martial. Simple goals, but these are goals that he wouldn't have taken previously, so like this season. So it's good for him to be delivering that. And then for the final goal, Dan James, Greenwood delivers a fantastic cross from the right hand side of the edge of the box, plays it over. Bruno Fernandes does a lovely cushioned header into the path of Dan James, who just has to flick the ball home. And it rounded off a fantastic performance from Man United. A much needed win. And to win in that sort of fashion should be a massive confidence booster for the weeks going ahead. This should really get Man United going, up and running, like in terms of creating goals. They should feel confident after it. Yes, eventually they were against 9 men, and for nearly all of the game, up till the 70th, they were against 10 men. However, it's not necessarily about sometimes it's about like how you manage these sorts of situations, like which determines whether or not you're good enough to compete for the title. So yeah, I'm not gonna talk about form and stuff because like I said, this was a rage game. It was a crazy game. So I think form sort of goes out the window for both teams in this one. For Man United, it should fire up the wins. But for Southampton, last time this happened to them against Leicester, they came back and they bounced back really emphatically. And I see them doing that again. I really do. I think this was just a one-off blip. They've had a lot of injuries, and I think they can come back from this. So to move on to the second most exciting game, just because of how crazy it was. 2 absolute moments of madness from Arsenal. So Arsenal against Wolves. Oh, I forgot to mention as well. Man United 2nd, Southampton 12th. There we go. So Wolves against Arsenal. Wolves ended up winning 2-1. This was a massive win for them because I'm sure that's their first victory since. Yes, it is their first victory since the day Jimenez got injured, and I think it was playing as a bit of a mental block for a lot of their players, and to see that they have came away with a win against Arsenal is great for them. Like I said, they needed it. Now, to go into the game, Arsenal looked very sharp on the attack in the first half. They looked great. Creating chances very quickly. Saka obviously hitting the post after, 10 seconds? Literally 10 seconds. Kicked off, ball gets played back, ball over the top. Saka's running onto it, volleys it, hits the post. If he had had more of a feel of the ball towards, if he had have had more of a feel of the ball before getting that opportunity, he probably would have took that away. But it was a fantastic start from them, and they continued it right through the first half. And Pepe, scored a simply brilliant goal that, like, I think it's been a long time coming for Pepe. I think there's been constant shows of the quality that he does have, but his physicality wasn't there yet. The goal that he scored just emphasized that he's ready for the physicality of the league. So picks up the ball on the edge of the box, like what's a corner flag? Like does a couple of step overs, takes it through the legs of the defender marking him, like, and then uses his body to get in front of him and shove him off the ball, and then nicks it through the next defender's legs. It hits off his legs and then rolls perfectly for Pepe to just roll onto and hit with his right foot to finesse it into the far corner. It was a breathtaking goal from Pepe, and because of this goal and because of the nature of which he scored that goal, I expect this to be him up and running now. Like, players can take their time to adjust to a league. For me, that's a goal that states that the adjustment period is over. He's got the physicality now to be able to do what he was doing in France for Lille. But yeah, it's good for him, but a massive but. David Luiz. He's turned himself into a meme since he's joined Arsenal. It's not great. It really isn't great for them. Like, Willie and Jose running clean through, gets beyond the last man. And then David Luiz, I don't know why he decides to run across the attacker. But for me, he should be running like to the right-hand side where he's heading towards, because there's already a defender covering the left-hand side. So I don't understand why David Luiz comes from the right and crosses over like that. It's pretty much him attempting to trip him. I think, like, you can say what you want. It was like, it may have been accidental, but for me, it's just poor positional sense from David Luiz, and that's becoming more and more apparent as his time with Arsenal goes on. His defensive awareness is absolutely appalling. But to go back to give Wolves some credit, they converted the penalty really well through Ruben Neves. Really well taken goal, and then pure excellence from João Moutinho. The commentator said on the day, this is a player who has done it on all of the big stages. He's done it on the big stage in many different competitions. He is a true footballing genius, João Moutinho, and I think he's the second most capped player for Portugal besides Ronaldo. And I think that speaks volumes as to how much experience he's got. And his strike was brilliant. He picks it up from about 25 yards, and you just see him. You can see that he's looking at the goal, thinking, "I've got this. This is for me." This just takes one little touch to lay it out. Does a couple of little steps in a run up, and then just smashes it, and the ball stays true. Just, it looks like it stays at the same height for ages and just travels and hits the post and goes in. Leno's not got a chance in hell of saving it. It's simply wonderful from Moutinho. And if you haven't seen the goal, I highly recommend you go and see it, because it's fantastic. It really is. And then to round off the game, a moment of madness from Leno. I don't really know what he was doing. It's just, it's obvious he's misjudged the flight of the ball, but he's misjudged it so badly. Like, he's running out to come and clear it, but then as his body shape's all wrong going into it, and he punches it out, and he's outside of his box. Straight red card, no complaints at all. An absolutely shocking one. And then I'm worried for Arsenal for their next game without Leno because the keeper who came on didn't look good. He did not look good. He looked really nervous. He looked very unsure whenever the ball came towards him. So, yeah, disappointing game from Arsenal. It's their first loss since Everton in December, in the middle of December, which is obviously disappointing from an Arsenal point of view, but they should look at that and be like, right, this is our first defeat for a while. A couple of things haven't went our way, being unlucky. Let's just move on to the next game. So after that, Wolves are on 14th and Arsenal at 10th. So the next game, the final one for Tuesday, is Sheffield United against West Brom, the battle of the relegation places. And once again, at the moment, Sheffield United have got a fire lit in them right now. And it wouldn't surprise me if we started seeing a little bit of their form from last season, helping them carry them up. I mean, there's teams above them who have got much worse form than Sheffield at the moment. And like the way that Sheffield are battling in games right now, even in the City game, they kept that, like, they may have lost it, but they kept it at 1-0 against City, who have been scoring goals, like plenty of goals, even though they don't have a striker. They've been scoring plenty of goals, and yet Sheffield kept them at 1. And we're like, nah, you're not scoring anymore. But yeah, I see a completely different Sheffield United compared to what I was seeing at the start of the season. This Sheffield United team's revigorated, and I think a big part of that has got to do with the way the Sheffield United owner had been speaking about the whole crack with Chris Wilder, saying pretty much like he's our man, he's not going anywhere. Even if we get relegated, like we believe he's the one who's going to take us back up. And it's really, really refreshing. There's not many clubs who have got that sort of outlook, who are perceived like in that way. So it's really refreshing to see the owner say that about Chris Wilder, saying, like, repeating about how their form last season was fantastic and that they overachieved, and this season they've been unlucky in games. So I love that. I really do, and I respect it a lot. I respect it, especially when you've got like places like, well, I don't agree with Man United's board a lot of the time. Chelsea fans won't agree with the Chelsea board a lot of the time. Newcastle don't like their board. Arsenal don't like their board. Liverpool, I don't think I'm too bothered about their board, but yeah. Anyways, I'm going off topic here. Apologies, but yeah. So the West Brom goal was a very scrappy goal. Unlucky from Ramsdale because he makes two fantastic saves. So like two shots very close to him in the box. He gets down well, saves one. He's still on the ground, gets over, saves the other one. But unfortunately, all he can do is push it into the path of Phillips for West Brom, who tucks it away. With, like, he couldn't miss. He really couldn't. Ramsdale was, like, again, unlucky with the double save. And then for Sheffield, they scored two fantastic goals. So first off, great holder playing quick feet from Basham after the ball comes out to him. He's facing the defenders, turns away with quick feet, and then turns it back and then opens it up so that way is it Boyle? Boyd? Dreadfully sorry. Bogle. Yeah. When Bogle tucked it away into the near side of the goal from where he was, just tucked it into the near post. Fantastic finish. Spun in very nicely. And then battled. Hello.
Where are you?
I'm doing my video.
Oh, are you live?
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
Apologies about that. And then Sheffield United just battled all the way till the end with that fight that they've been getting in them recently with their good run of form. And Billy Sharp did well to squeeze it in at the last minute. West Brom may say that there was a foul in the build-up to the goal just before it gets to Billy Sharp, but for me, no, it's two players battling for the ball, and the Sheffield United players wanted it more than West Brom on the day. So that result still has Sheffield in 20th and West Brom in 19th. However, Sheffield have got 3 wins in the last 5 games. So I can see this second half of the season being really good for them if they can keep this up, because they've been performing well not only against the lower teams but against the big teams as well. Like obviously they beat Man United the other day. They only lost by 1 to Man City away from home. So I feel as though Sheffield are gaining good confidence and good form going into the second half of the season, which could see them do the unthinkable. Whereas West Brom, they look like one of the teams that are just going down, down, down. They've not won in 4 games now. And it's just worrying. They haven't looked like they've got the quality all season. So it's unfortunate, but it's just one of them things. If you don't have it, you don't have it. And speaking of don't have it, that moves us on nicely to the Liverpool-Brighton game. Now, I'm going to enjoy talking about this because it's always great when Liverpool lose. They lost 1-0 to Brighton. Yep, 1-0 to Brighton. And Liverpool were at home again. They have now lost back-to-back home games. Can you believe that? After going 3 years without losing once at home, they've now lost twice. Twice in 2 games. It's mental. It really is crazy. Just how fortresses can be built and then torn apart like that. It's amazing. It's part of the reason why I love the Premier League. And with Liverpool, they just can't seem to get their season going. There's just no consistency with them. I don't understand it. So a talk about the Brighton goal. So the header back from Burns, a good one. The commentary and the replay didn't actually say who played the cross to go towards Burns. So I apologise for not saying who it was. I only watched the highlights. And then Alzate gets in front of Trossard and gets a side foot to it to net it past the goalkeeper. I didn't have a clue who that goalkeeper was as well, by the way, for Liverpool. I've never heard of him. Never seen him before. So it's a strange one. Massive result for Brighton again. They've won 3 out of the last 4 games. They've got back-to-back results against Tottenham and then Liverpool. For Brighton, that is absolutely fantastic. And all you can do is praise the team and praise the manager for the way that he's got them playing right now. There's been signs of this all the way through the season with Graham Potter in charge of Brighton. They gave Man United good runs for their money early on in the season in games where arguably they deserved something from the games. But now they're turning the results into actual wins. They're turning it into wins and draws. And they're 15th after this game. And I'm sure that the way that the Premier League table is looking, so they're a good 10 points above the relegation zone. So they're starting to come into that category of teams that are starting to get their season, get form tidied up and stuff. So yeah, great result for Brighton. Liverpool need a result at the weekend against City, and if they don't get a result, you can say what you want about injuries, about a team being short on confidence and stuff because of losing key players. When it comes to a title defense, Liverpool set such high standards last season that the way they're playing this season is just so far off of what they were that it's worrying. They did simple things at the start of the season, like selling their backup defender, and then fucking straight away they lose Van Dijk to injury, and then they bring in Thiago, who, I'm going to say it, I don't care what people's opinion is, I rate Thiago highly. He's a world-class player. He is not for that Liverpool team. He doesn't work. He doesn't work in that team. He's top quality. He can move the ball about well. He dictates the tempo of the game. But for the way that Liverpool play, he's crippling their work rate. He's crippling the way that they like to attack, the way that they defend, the way that they marshal teams, the way that they are constantly going at you from first whistle till last. That's not there this season. And for me, it's so Van Dijk has obviously been missing all season, and he's a massive miss. But I think Thiago being involved in that team is more of a thank you very much, Aaron. Good to see you, mate. But yeah, for me, it's just poor from Liverpool. So they need a win against City. Otherwise, they're out of the title picture, and it's between Man United and Man City. If Liverpool can get the win, though, it makes the title race so much. Yeah, you did, I. Did Hoyes off his stride. I'm not used to the commenting when I'm live streaming, so. But yeah, Liverpool, if they do get a win, it just makes everything so much more exciting. Brings them a win will bring them to 43 points, which will be a point behind Manchester United. And then obviously I'm hoping that Man United will win their game to allow us to keep the pressure on City as well, because obviously I'm hoping at the weekend that Liverpool win, so that way it makes things easier for Man United trying to get back up to the top of the table. Obviously it invites Liverpool to be back in as contenders, but obviously I want what I want. But we'll move on from there now. So moving on. Well, sorry. Yeah, Liverpool are 4th after that and Brighton 15th. So Aston Villa against West Ham United's next. Another emphatic performance from West Ham. They lost against City. Was it City? I believe it was City. The other day. Apologies about this. Liverpool. They lost to Liverpool the other day. That's who it was. So they lost to Liverpool, but they've turned it around in the best way that you can. Especially it was from what I've seen in the highlights, it was a great day for West Ham. But I will say this though, both of Lingard's goals, as happy as I am for Lingard to have scored 2 goals, both of Lingard's goals could easily have been saved by the keeper. It was poor keeping, doesn't get anywhere near enough on considering how close each shot is to him. But sometimes when you're an attacker, you just need to get it on target, and that's enough. And fair play to Lingard. He gets 2 goals on his debut. Much needed goals. And I'm really happy to see him kickstart I'm hoping this revitalization of his career at West Ham. It's like he looked really happy, and obviously you're going to be happy scoring 2 goals on your debut, but there was a real togetherness with that West Ham team, I felt, and yeah, Lingard got luck on his side, so fair play to him for that. Aston Villa, well, maybe you could say they were unlucky. Because in the first half, Watkins hit a shot which clipped the outside of the post. I mean, if that goes inside the post, it could be a completely different game. But when it's 2-0 to West Ham, there's a great pass from Grealish when he's out to the right-hand side of the pitch. Plays a lovely arch ball which goes around the West Ham defence, and then Ollie Watkins running onto it just stabs at it and manages to nick it past the keeper for a really nice goal. But then Lingard struck him for the second one. So a really good day for West Ham. Really good day for West Ham. So they have now won 5 of their last 6 games. Obviously, the one they didn't win was against Liverpool, but 5 wins out of 6 is fantastic form, and they're fifth right now after that game, and they're really staking a claim right now to say they could compete to get into the Champions League spots, especially with the teams that are above them as well in the table. I mean, like Leicester, maybe they could, like, with the way form's going, unless Liverpool win against City, you can see West Ham going above Liverpool and then staying above them for a while, because, I mean, Liverpool have played against West Ham, so it will be a case of the game, like them getting into the top 4. It will be a case of it being in West Ham's hands. They're doing really well to work their way into that position, and they're someone who everyone should be keeping an eye on in terms of who's going to get that last Champions League place. So for Aston Villa, that game leaves them 9th, and their form, I've mentioned it a couple of times since I've started, but their form throughout the later part of the season is becoming much more inconsistent, and they've only got 2 wins from the last 7 games now. So it's not great for them. But the early form in the season was enough to obviously keep them out of any relegation fights, which is what their goal would have been at the start of the season. So it depends on who you ask from an Aston Villa point of view in terms of like how they feel as though their season is. I think you'll find some will be disappointed because of where they were. They had been top at one point and now they're 9th. And then others will just be grateful that they're definitely going to be in the league next season, because I think where it's a certainty, really, the 9th, and they've got so many more points than the teams below them. It's just, for me, there's no way of the bottom teams catching up to them. So we've got 4 games left to go. First off, we've got Leeds against Everton. Now, this was a good win for Everton. It was a much needed win. It was a much needed win to keep the pressure on the West Ham that's above them, to keep pressure on them, to keep pressure on Chelsea as well, and to keep pressure on Tottenham as well. It was a big game for them, and I was saying that before, Newcastle defending from corners and stuff is a bit of a myth for them. Now, I may have been a bit harsh with that, but when I say defending is a myth for Leeds, I am not being harsh. Leeds are amazing to watch. They're fantastic going forwards. They are really you could say the most exciting team in the Premier League, because every single game they play, they allow the game to be so open, so that way it plays into their attacking style. But man, it punishes them defensively. They do not know what they're doing defensively. For Dominic Calvert-Lewin's goal, Ayling just ball watching, like completely lets Dominic Calvert-Lewin get free, and you don't do that with Calvert-Lewin. He's proven throughout this season that he can be clinical when it comes to opportunities like that, and he got a goal that he needed for his confidence. We could see him firing again like how he was at the start of the season. So that was his goal, which was the second goal for them. The first goal, Digne swings across into the six, which is like along the floor, and the Leeds players just seemed to allow it to go through. I didn't understand what was going on. They just completely switched off and allowed Sigurdsson to have a free run at the ball and put it away. It's like, bloody hell, you can't make it any easier for Everton, can you? So yeah, that was certainly strange for me. And then their goal, Leeds' goal was nice. Leeds' goal was a good goal. Nice layoff from Bamford into Rafinha, who tucked it away into the far corner very nicely. However, it just wasn't enough for Leeds on the day. And they're now 11th, Everton 7th after that game. Excuse me. They're 11th, but this has been a strange all season, and I fear that the way that Leeds play is going to get them relegated in coming seasons. Obviously, they're fantastic going forward. They're great to watch going forward, but you're going to find eventually that teams are going to sharpen up and wise up to that, and they're going to know how to be able to shut down Leeds from being able to get that offensive profit that they always manage to get in games. So, yeah, they, like, as much as Bielsa gets praised, I think he needs to be called out for how poor they are defensively. Obviously, it's their first season in the league, but if you conceding goals in the manner of which Leeds do, and it's not just the amount of goals, it's the way they concede them as well. Like, if that's like, if they don't sort it out, they'll be in big trouble in the near future. Mark my words. So, 3 games to go. Fulham against Leicester next. Simple 2-0 win for Leicester, where Fulham just look like a team with absolutely no fight in them. Obviously, there's West Brom and Sheffield United below them, but even West Brom have got more fight than Fulham, and I was saying that West Brom have looked poor, very poor recently. I watched the highlights. I watched the highlights from the game. It was just very, very poor. Really poor. They were not showing any form of fight to get anything from the game. The only person who I can say put in any effort every game for Fulham is Areola, the goalkeeper, and poor experience for him. He's on loan, I believe, from PSG right now. Poor experience being put into a relegation side like this. It's poor for him. Like, doesn't matter how many saves he makes, he's gonna end up conceding in that team. Now Fulham have went 11 games without a win, which is awful. I believe that is the current worst form in the league, and it's really poor to see from their point of view. Leicester move up to 3rd after their 2-0 win. It was great from their point of view. They were allowed the time to do whatever they needed to do to get the goals, and they took full advantage of that. Maddison at the centre of both the goals, getting the assist for both of them. He plays a lovely dinked cross into the box for Iheanacho, who then tucks the ball away with a lovely header, which he does really well to get on target because the ball's like the cross is just behind him, so he has to angle his neck and then like make sure it meets his forehead perfectly to be able to get that in the net, and he does really well. So fair play to Iheanacho for that. Really good goal. And then for the second goal, it was a lovely pass from Maddison again, which fed it perfectly to James Justin, who was running onto the ball, who then took a touch, takes it past the keeper, and then tucks it into the empty net. As simple as you like it for Leicester. Couldn't have been a much easier game for them. They're now 4 wins in their last 6, and they're looking like strong favourites to stay in the Champions League places and rectify their error of last season where they allowed Man United and Chelsea to get above them from a position where they shouldn't have. See, I would say that, Aaron. However, with the way that Sheffield United have been playing recently, obviously their form at the start of the season was abysmal, but they've won 3 of their last 5 games. So I feel as though Sheffield have, if any of the bottom teams are going to have any fighting chance, it's going to be Sheffield. And obviously it's funny to say that considering they're bottom, like 20th. However, they're the team who have got the fight out of the 3 teams in the bottom. So if anyone is going to get out of the bottom 3, it will be them. I'm not saying that it will happen. I'm saying that Sheffield are making it more and more likely. Aye, possibly, but time will tell. Time will tell. Time will tell. Unless Newcastle stay pony, yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's like I said, Newcastle's form isn't great, and it's why I've said Sheffield do have a chance because their form is better than a lot of teams that are above them at the moment. So yeah. I mean, think what you think, but it'll be. It's looking like a good second half of the season. It's been an exciting year, anyways, just because of the unpredictability of the league this season. So it's going to be good to watch throughout the last stretch, like in the second half of the season. So we've got 2 games left to cover. So the first of which being Man City against Burnley. And another win for City, who are looking unstoppable. City are looking unstoppable right now. They haven't lost in 19 games, which is quite outrageous. They've won 9 in a row as well. And the goals were, well, the first one I thought was really poor from Pope to concede. I felt as though Nick Pope has got to catch that shot from, I can't remember who it was who took the shot. I think it was Foden. Foden takes the shot. It's straight at Pope, and it hits straight off his hands and goes straight to Jesus, who, like a predator, took his header. I think that's fair to say. I think he took his goal like a real goal predator, and he looks like he's getting back into form. I've said recently that City haven't had the real striker to be continuing their good form, and that it's been exceptional the way they've played without a striker in form. Now Jesus is looking like he's starting to get in form. It's looking very worrying from the Man United fans' point of view to see City gaining so much traction towards the second half of the season. I feel as though it's just going to I feel as though it's going to be really difficult for anyone to catch them. God damn it, Aaron. Took a leg ring, guys. God damn it. And then for the second goal for City, it was great play from Gundogan. Does really well to get the ball past the right back who's trying to mark him, takes it past him, fizzes a perfect cross into the box, and Sterling can't miss it. He seems to have gotten back in form recently as well. He had a poor first half of the season. this half of the season, he's looking more like the Sterling that everyone knows. In terms of the goal amount that he's getting, I mean, so to comment on what you've just said there, Aaron, we've played more exciting the last 3 games. Yeah, like from the highlights that I've seen of Newcastle, I would agree. Newcastle have looked better in recent games, and I think the major part of that isn't necessarily down to Steve Brewster. I think it's down to the new coach that you've got. I mean, I've spoken to a couple of different people who support Newcastle, and they both feel as though it's the work that the new coach is doing which is really affecting the team. Now, you can say what you want. You can give Steve Bruce maybe credit for helping, like getting him in, assigning him to help out with the team because he knew that the team needed it. But I don't see it as being Steve Bruce's impact, which is helping Newcastle get the form that they're getting right now. Yeah, and then so to talk about Burnley, they're 17th after that game. Bruce does have to pick the team, but I'm sure the new coach will be having a big impact on who's getting selected as well. Yeah, but yeah, I'm 100% agreeing. They've definitely looked better, but there just needs to be more from Newcastle. I feel like from all of their players, I think there just needs to be more. If you can give Wilson the sort of service that he's been getting recently, and like what he got at the start of the season, like it was short service, but it was good service that he got at the start of the season. Now he's getting service a bit more frequently. Like he's someone who you can build on for Newcastle, I think, Wilson. So to talk about Burnley, there were no threat towards City. 2 wins in their last 6 games, but they've just went through a really hard run of games. They've nice one, Aaron, mate. Same with you. I'll speak to you soon, and thank you very much for coming into the live stream. I much appreciated, mate. So to talk about Burnley, yeah. So I was just saying Burnley have been in really poor form recently. However, their run of games has been quite harsh on them. So they've played City, Chelsea, Liverpool, West Ham, and Man United in the space of 6 games. I personally believe for them to have gotten the amount of points that they have from them games is a big credit to them. They've done really well there. They've got Brighton next. Brighton, who themselves are in really good form. They've just, like I said before, came back victories against Spurs and then against Liverpool. That's going to be an interesting game. I think that'll be a really interesting game. Burnley have the opportunity to pull Brighton back into the mix of the danger zone a little bit, whereas Brighton have an opportunity to further extend their safety net over the bottom teams. But yeah, I personally believe Burnley will turn things around again. It's just that run of games is about as hard as they can get during the season for a team, and they've done really well, to be fair to them. So credit to Burnley, and also credit to City for the way that they beat Burnley. And then for the final game, a bit of a boring one it was between Chelsea and Spurs. Certainly from the highlights, it seems that way anyways. Spurs, I'll say it, missing Kane again. Like, I don't understand what I don't understand. I thought Bale was brought in to be one of the impact players for when Kane isn't fit. But Mourinho runs the team, and I'm glad he doesn't run my team anymore. So Chelsea, great penalty from Jorginho. I don't understand what Eric Dyer is doing for the tackle, for the penalty. For that penalty, it's shocking defending. If you haven't seen it, he's pretty much lying on the floor. I can't remember what Chelsea player I think it's Mount gets on the other side of him, and he stays on the floor, and Mount gets ball like in between Dyer and the ball, and Dyer's still trying to hack away while he's on the floor, just swinging his legs at the ball. It's so unprofessional. It's ridiculous, and it was really poor to see. It's really poor to see. So, and with Tottenham, they were open defensively, or like they were open defensively, very open defensively. The highlights that were available to see from Chelsea's attacking point of view, Tottenham just kept opening up. They just kept like backing off and winding up like more and more and more, providing more space for Chelsea to run into. Very strange one for me. And then Vinicius has got to score that header later on to, like, you talk about teams who have got the quality to nick results at the end of it. Obviously, Kane's missing. Vinicius is meant to be the next person to stand in for Kane. He is shown with that header he doesn't have it. He's barely been played this season. I don't think he's got a Premier League goal. So I don't see what impact he's going to have on that Tottenham side, except for a negative one. And I think it's time for Bale to be played up front. Say what you want about maybe Mourinho doesn't trust his fitness at this stage, or he doesn't fully believe that Bale is what the team needs in terms of the work rate. But you need a game changer. You need a game changer in that team. Son's a game changer, but you need someone else alongside him to help. So, yeah, those two that result left Spurs in 8th place and no win in 3 and only 1 in the last 5, which is shocking considering they were top of the table and talking about themselves as being serious title contenders this season. And Chelsea have moved up to 6th. They've got 7 points from their last 9 that were available. And the form is turning at Chelsea, which usually happens with a manager. It's the manager bounce, the new manager bounce. So, yeah, it's not like it was unexpected from a Chelsea point of view. Chelsea have had the quality in the team to be able to get these results. It's just there's still a bit of a sour taste in my mouth from the way that Lampard got sacked, because it was like it was the first mistake that he made. Well, sorry, not first mistake that he made. It was the first bad run of form that he'd had. And yeah, I feel as though lots of Chelsea fans will still be a little bit confused. But obviously, it's good for them that their form's starting to turn. But for today, that is all that I have to bring to you. It's been great being able to engage with one or two people as well. It's been fantastic. And yeah, I love engaging with people. So if ever you do want to join the live stream and ask us questions about the Premier League, I really would love to get some opinions from other people about how they feel as though their teams are doing, or how they feel as though a certain team is going to do with their run of games or whatever. If it's football related, I'll talk about it. So if you have enjoyed the video, please remember to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and until I next see you, which will be tomorrow for the Manchester United game. Let me just before I go, I'll just make a note of what's going to be happening. So tomorrow I'm going to be doing a pre-match prediction and team prediction. I didn't do that before the Man United game the other day, but I will be doing that for the game against Everton tomorrow. I'll be doing the team news reaction on the day as well, and then my post-match reaction after the game. And then my video doing the review of the Premier League fixtures will take place on Tuesday, the 9th of February. So make sure you check my channel around then. But until then, take care and I'll see you later.